committed. And the saying, Prabhupada even mentions that you eat too much, was it? Sleep too much. Anyway, so basically we deserve to be sick, right? Now things have changed. I remember I went to Bombay a few years ago and I got sick and they had insurance and they were taking me to specialists and I was impressed. Things have changed. So, ISKCON is, But what happened here is that because we always say we are not the body, then what happens when we get sick? You're not the body, Prabhu, But I don't want to dig so much into this. It's not that I'm criticizing. We do what we can when we can. Emotional. Okay. What happens when the ladies do get emotional, and then the Prabhus say, "Oh, the women are like this and like that," isn't it? Sometimes we take this emotionality as something that it's almost like a disease. Right? Okay, let me tell you something beside jokes. We have lost too many devotees in our times. Yes? Are you Prabhupada disciple, Mati? Yes? Okay. Mati? Yes? Okay. So you don't let me lie. We lost too many devotees in our movement. If we are able to look after our devotees, we could change the history. Because if we go by statistics, and we lost so many, and from what I heard from my seniors, most of Prabhupada disciples left. So we don't want that to happen. We don't want to repeat the mistakes of the past. So this sort of approach to our devotees is something that can change the history of our movement. So we have 3 areas, and I'm sure that if you read all of this according to your situation in the yatra that you live or your experiences, you can see that there are different ways or different approaches or emphasis. Some communities are very organized, very caring. Some communities are very spiritually strong, right? Some are balanced all throughout these areas. But some may be very spiritually strong, but when it comes to community, they are very divided. Have you seen that? Communities that everyone is talking bad about each other, then GBC and temple president and the ex-temple president and the grihastas and the lazy brahmacharis and it goes on like that. Everywhere you go, there is some complaint about someone. Yeah? Some more, some less. Anyway, these are the areas of care. Now, mind you, this is not only for devotees, this is for every human being. Some of these things are pulled directly from community development programs. I used to work in Australia as a social worker and as a counseling in different fields. So this is for everybody. Sometimes we think that we are some sort of extraterrestrial beings, that we don't touch the floor, but we are much more real than that. Yes, Prabhupada describes the pure devotee, but some of us are not there just yet. Another thing, how did Prabhupada used to introduce his greetings in his letters? Who remembers? No, that's the ending. How he introduced... I hope this finds you in good health. We're not the body. What happened? Why Prabhupada is putting that, I think, in most of his letters, when we are not the body? What happened there? The body is important. It's the vehicle. Right? Is that correct? I'm just taking from Prabhupada, so I'm not making it up. Further on this topic, extended concept of self. Prabhupada talks in the material, giving a material connotation to this. Extended selfishness, he says, right? You know the Shastras, so Prabhupada talks about this thing. Now, amongst devotees, it's very important that you're healthy, correct? That you're satisfied, that you're happy. It's important that your family or your group of colleagues in the Brahmachari ashram are happy, united, correct? Can we agree on this? Right? The community, healthy community, the society, the ISKCON society it's a happy, healthy, vibrant group of devotees. Can we agree that that's what Prabhupada wanted? Yeah, it makes sense, right? Okay. So, just to put the stamp that this approach or this request is not something that comes from some materially minded karmi speculator. Who wants to read this famous verse? Go for it. Translation?
Revealing one's mind.
Offering.
Okay, sorry. Offering gifts in charity, accepting charitable gifts, revealing one's mind in confidence, inquiring confidentially, accepting prasad, and offering prasad are the 6 symptoms of love shared by one devotee.
Okay, I don't want to talk about prasad because we have definitely not a problem with that in our movement. Yeah, we know that's especially if you have signed up for the ILS, kind of prasad that we get here every day. When was the last time you gave a gift to somebody? Right? I'm putting you in a spot. I don't want you to take the microphone. I just ask you to ask yourself, when was the last time you bought something or got something and a gift? Oh, I gave my time. Oh, I gave a flower to Krishna. When was the last time you gave a gift to somebody? Especially somebody that you want to strengthen your relationship. Okay? This is not to make you feel bad. It's to encourage you to do what Rupa Goswami is recommending. Now, I can say something. I have, self-disclosure. When I was working as a counselor, I used to use many things that we find in the Shastras. Some things that Krishna says in the Gita. Your mind is your best friend. Your mind could be your worst enemy. Yeah? These things, sometimes when I used to do family reconciliation and mediation, buy a gift. Next session, I want you to buy a gift. Next session, I want you to bring a gift. Okay? And then we're going to do a gift exchange here and see what happens. And I had such a positive feedback. And people were saying, some of my colleagues, where do you learn these things? We didn't get that in our training. I said, no, something I learned something somewhere. These things do work. These things are scientific. 6 symptoms of love. 3 things you have to remember. Gifts, revealing your mind, or accepting someone's revealing their mind to you, and prasad. You don't even have to think. In this movement, you don't have to think of prasad. But yeah, it's very important. 6 symptoms. Okay, so that's our verse, and that's our only shloka for this presentation and actually for the course. We have many quotes or several quotes from Prabhupada, but basically that's our only Shastric reference as such. So it is important here in these 3 words, guhyam, akyati, prichati. Those pandits in the room, what does guhyam mean? Confidential. What does confidential? I know that in ISKCON, confidential has a different meaning. Yeah, you know that, right? Confidential means in ISKCON whatever it's practical to say. If management wants to know, I tell my guru, I tell the GBC, I tell to my fellow friends, and then, worldwide news, right? Confidential in ISKCON means something else. And that has brought a lot of problems. Confidential means confidential. Confidential means that you don't tell anybody. If somebody's trusting you, what happens when you tell somebody else? You know what happens? Breach? Breach of trust, yes. That's a technical word, yeah. The person will not reveal his mind or her mind to you ever again. And if one devotee does it, and then another devotee does it, and another devotee does it, you know what happened? They will think, I cannot reveal my mind to the devotees. So they go outside. Right? So we have to be careful with this. Okay? All right, next. Okay, this is good. Please, someone read. Where's the mic? You can pass it on. Staying all the time, this. Any of the ladies want to share? Yeah, here. Yeah, all the way. Okay, this is Prabhupada, by the way.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. When we are further advanced, we do not see only Krishna, but we see his devotees also. We can recognize here is a pure devotee of Krishna. But in the lower stage, a devotee is concerned with the deity worship, but he does not take much care of the devotees. But when one is advanced further, he can see Krishna and his devotees also. Ishvara Tadadhina. Tadadhina means devotees. Devotees are always under the service of Krishna. So anyone who is giving service to Krishna, we should take care of them also.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Haribol. Everyone here lives in temples? Who doesn't live in a temple?
Me.
You don't live in temple? Oh, yeah, okay. Everyone lives in temples? Oh, you don't live in temples? Okay. So majority of people live in temples. Yeah? But even outside of the temple, you generally have deities or at least a picture. Yeah? And you take care of that picture, of that deity even at home. Every temple or every center generally has a deity department. And you have a number of devotees serving the deities. Yeah? And you have a budget and you have a schedule. You have a staff for the deities, correct? According to Prabhupada, when we're further advanced, we should have a devotee department as well, where we take care of them. There's a budget, there's people allocated, there's a schedule when you can go and talk to people, yes? So, like sometimes Bhaktivinoda Thakur will say, when will that day be mine? Right? When every ISKCON temple has a place where we can go and share with someone some of our issues, some of our challenges, and we can get some objective help. Okay? So, I'm trying to get this idea from Prabhupada and convey it here, that it is important to look after our devotees. Okay? Right. Now, the question is this. We can go on and on talking about this, but how to do it? Right? Where do we go? Right? Do you have anybody that you can go and reveal your mind to in confidentiality? Some are nodding, yes, yeah, no. You don't have to say it. You can keep it to yourself. But do you have one person at least in this world that you can go in a trusting way, open up your mind, and you know that that person is going to keep it with himself or herself, and is going to most probably try to help you? Huh? With your well-being as their main interest. We need to have more and more of those. Okay? This is a challenge. Okay. As we don't have much time because these seminars are quite short, but any example of your recollection in Prabhupada's times, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna's incarnations, Bhagavatam, Gita, etc., where you can refer to any instance where this caring and counseling were really manifested, that you think it's salient, that it's outstanding. Sudama, thank you. Okay, just one? Okay, let's share.
Prabhupada's Guru Puja was going on and Prabhupada saw one devotee leg was injured.
All right.
So immediately Prabhupada called him and told him some medicine to
Oh, Jivan oil or something like that. Okay. Jai. Anyone else? Okay. 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 Dog care. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. Okay. Okay. Very good. Krishna used her. Anyone else? Any other example? Prabhu? Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Chaitanya Charitamrita is full of these sort of examples. Yes? Chaitanya Charitamrita is full of them. Take care of them and, yeah, devotee care. Okay, very good. You show care, no? How are you? Right? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went and asked Haridas, what's happening? I'm not seeing you. Yeah? All this. Aha. It's interesting because I have given this course many, many times, and it's almost all the time pretty much the same pastimes. Yeah, always. The same. I can almost know by heart. It's the same. Very interesting. Okay, so in our line we have plenty of these examples, yeah? There's no shortage of these examples. Okay, where do we start? What do we do? Where do we go? Yes, you came to the seminar, so let's see. Okay, if we get something from here, take away. Beg your pardon? It's a start. That's a start. Okay. Counseling skills. Let's get to the core of the thing. Counseling skills. What are counseling skills? What is this counseling word? Some people, and we don't have the time, generally when we have time, 10 days or 3 days at least, then we will say, okay, are you in favor of counseling? Stand on that edge. Are you against counseling? Stay on that end. So the room gets divided like that, and then people start talking and arguing and debating. Yes, no, yes. Some people quote Prabhupada, some people quote some of their gurus and sannyasis, and back and forth it goes on like that. It's really interesting, and everyone gets like, you generally do that before prasad, so people get really fired up. It's a digestive exercise. Counseling skills. Counseling skills are simpler than what they sound. I know, and let me talk about the elephant in the room. Not the big ones that are walking around, but the elephant in the room is that sometimes some of us, even some of our leaders I read both sides, are against counseling. Because every counselor is going to tell you to go and eat meat and break principles and don't chant Hare Krishna, etc., etc. Have you heard that? Maybe before people used to say things like that. But we have put together, this is not an advertisement, but yeah, we have put together a magazine with several articles from Guru Swami's leaders who are promoting the need for counseling in ISKCON. Let me do a bit of a break here, a pause. I will explain. Okay, what does by the way, since you pointed out, what does professional mean for you generally? Trained, certified, high experience, required, okay. Expert, authentic, certified. Anyway, sometimes we have the idea that professional means that you have to go. I went to university, I got training for those things, but sometimes the idea is that we have to go and get a degree for 3 years, 4 years, do a master's, and yeah. So that might be, some information is there. But the idea of professional actually is that we do it right. Right? That's the idea. We do it right. Okay? So that's what we are promoting. We're not telling people just go and send them to the next psychologist in town, and we are not promoting that. What we're promoting is a culture of care where we actually get trained, and we do have plenty. We have like 10 times more material for the course than what we needed, because there were so many quotes. Just in the Gita, we have like 3 pages of quotes from the purports and from what Krishna says about the welfare, thinking of the welfare of others. It's amazing. Okay? So counseling skills. We don't have the time because this is not the course. This is just a presentation on the principles of the course. What do you think is the most important thing of a counselor? By the way, counselors charge... where are you from, Prabhu? America? Oh, New Zealand. Okay. How much a counselor or a psychologist costs? That you have an idea? $35. Oh, that's cheap. On a concession. Okay, all right. You're from America, bro? Yeah. How much a counselor cost? Yes. Now we're talking. Costs around $100, $90, $100, etc. This is the amazing thing that I learned. All what I had to do to work as a counselor is to listen to people, right? Is to learn how to listen. And then I thought, I can do that. All what I have to do is just shut myself up. That's it. I don't have to talk. Simple, yeah? And then you get whatever amount you get. Simple. Not so. Not so simple. To listen is one of the most difficult things to do. You can shut yourself up. You cannot say anything, but that doesn't mean that you're listening. And that's what we're going to talk about today, because that's the first step in counseling someone. You need to learn, we need to learn how to listen to someone. Because we listen to what? For what's the purpose of listening? Yes. Very good. You know all the answers. Okay. The two first points, listening and empathy. Listening, we know what listening is. Prabhupada says if we listen attentively, what happens when we read Bhagavatam? If we listen attentively, we will see Krishna in every page. These are Prabhupada's words. We will see Krishna in every page if we listen attentively. Okay, listening, we understand what that means. What empathy means? You don't have to tell me the dictionary definition. Empathy, what the general idea of empathy? Anybody? You can relate? Oh, that's the typical example. Everybody says that. You are in somebody's shoes. You can feel. Very good. You can feel. Empathy comes from the Greek pathos. Pathos like pathology. Pathology means something is wrong with you. Right? Pathology means, pathos means suffering. Right? Someone is, I don't want to get gross here, but who lives in India? Or you live in India, yes. Brahmacharis. You know the syndrome of the boil syndrome. You ever got a boil? You know what that means, right? Lot of pain. Yeah? So if you see somebody who has a boil, you know he or she is in pain. Right? Very right. So empathy is to understand the pain that person goes through. Okay? That's empathy. So empathic listening, meaning that we listen with the intention to understand people's pain. Does that make sense? You can Google that and you can find it. It's easy. Now, let me tell you something about empathic listening. It's impossible to fully understand what someone else is feeling. Exactly. It's impossible. Why? Because we're all different. A wrestler breaks his finger. He's a tough fellow. He just puts something, wraps it up. After 2 weeks, he's bashing somebody else. Yeah? A little girl breaks her finger. Oh, she may be traumatized for life. Right? So, it's not exactly the same for everybody. Okay? I'm going to say some things here that are a bit shocking. And sorry, it's not that I want to steer you up, but it's a reality. Sometimes someone's guru leave the movement. Have you heard about those stories? I'm not making it up. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. What do you do? Have you seen or heard sometimes husband beating wife? Or wife doing something horrible to the husband? Or parents doing something horrible to the kids? Have you heard those stories? It happened. So I'm not making things up. Everything, we have it in-house. Okay? We don't have to go to the movies and see some horror. We have some homemade horror movies in our movement. So what happens when people are broken, injured, suffering? What do you do? Now, this is extreme cases. When people start fighting amongst devotees, right? There's some fights, and then you get a bit discouraged, right? Don't worry, Prabhu, everything is going to be okay, right? You must be Maya, you have to be humble, and you have to tolerate, and tolerate, and tolerate. You're sincere, you're tolerating. Many of you are sincere, that's why you're here. Some of them may not be, sincere is a word. Maybe it's strong enough, and then they leave. Let's remember, majority of Prabhupada disciples left. And I don't think it's because they were not sincere necessarily only, but because also the movement wasn't able to provide enough care or understanding. Okay? So listening, empathy, we're not going to go through all of them. Genuineness means being honest. Unconditional positive regard. Anybody knows by heart? Chapter 9. Chapter 9, text 30. Pandijis. Api chet sudarachara. What Krishna says, paraphrase what Krishna says there. Even if you commit the most abominable act, is that what he says? Action? Right? Api chet sudaracharo. Okay? Even if you commit the worst crime, if you rectify yourself, you should be considered what? A saint. That's controversial. That's perhaps the most controversial text in the Bhagavad Gita. And so many times I get asked, Prabhu, how do you understand this? Yeah. This is the example. And this is what it means in unconditional positive regard. Anyone have a kid here? Parents, mothers? Yeah? Okay, so you know. This is the example. If your child does something terrible, right? Would he stop being your child? No. Would you stop loving him or her, wanting him or her to come back to the right path? No, right? That's if you're a normal father, that is, or mother. The same thing. Krishna shows that in 9:30. Unconditional, positive regard. Concreteness, we're going to talk about this. This is the last part of the presentation. We're going to get to work, not just talk, being nice and all that sort of things. We can go on and on about that. Concreteness means we're going to do something practical. Devotees are very practical. So we have to be practical in our counseling work. Open questions means we need to know which questions to ask so people open the doors of their mind. It's not a yes or no. Why is it important for you to get attention from your leaders? And I know Prabhu will take, keep me 20 minutes at least, non-stop telling me, yeah? Yes, yeah, definitely. So we need to know how to open those doors. Okay? Self-disclosure means sometimes we share things. Oh, I remember when I was a brahmachari and my leaders didn't write to me, or I wrote 10 letters and I didn't get one reply. Right? Sometimes that happens. So some self-disclosure. So it's a skill. Not to say, oh, I know exactly how you feel. No, I can imagine how you feel. All right? Interpretation, somebody's telling me something. Or sometimes, this is interesting, some people do not tell you much. And you, because of your experience, you understand by that person not telling us much, is telling us a lot. Right? When people are very closed up, it means that they are scared. They are not trusting. Right? We have these devotees around. Oh, he doesn't talk much, or she doesn't say much. I see him crying, or I see her crying, or I see him, he's angry, but they don't say much. So that's, you have to be experienced in interpretation. What does that mean? Information giving and removing obstacles to change. That means that you are resourceful. Wherever you live, it's always useful to know where is the next hospital. It's always helpful. It's always helpful to know what is the number of the next domestic violence center, child abuse, mental health support service. If you really want to help devotees, financial assistance depends on the country that you live. Okay? So it's a practical. These counseling skills are practical. So let's get into a little bit about counseling skills per se. And I'm going to just pinpoint some of the essential skills that we need in order to become a good counselor. Okay? If you hit the word counseling, whether it's double L in British English or one L in American English, you can get sometimes millions of hits in 1 second or so. Millions of hits. Okay, so we're going to summarize in about 20 minutes a lot of those hits and the essence of what we find in the internet and elsewhere. Who am I? What does that mean? Who am I? When I ask you, who are you? Prabhu or Mate, what would you generally say if I ask you? As devotees, what do we say? Your soul? What else you say? Yep. If I ask you, who are you? Prabhu, what would you say? You are an individual. Yes. Who are you? Yes. My servant. Come and get me some soda water. When this sort of training or aspect of the training in counseling comes, is that we have to almost put a mirror in front of us. Right? And ask yourself, who am I? And this is what it means. What are the best qualities? I know that you know all these lines. I'm worse than the stool of a worm, of a pig, the whole thing. We're not looking for that. We're looking for the qualities. What are the good qualities in you? Who do you think used this technique when I started some preaching program? That's what Srila Prabhupada did. You're good at carving. Okay, go and carve Yagannath. Oh, you are good at making money. Okay, go set up this business. Okay, you are good at talking. Okay, yeah, etc. We know the story. What are you good at in terms of relating with others? Are you honest? Are you humorous? Are you serious? Are you practical? Are you whatever you are? Think of one or maximum 3 characteristics that you can use when you relate to others. Generally, that something that others can confirm. Oh, yeah, I know, Prabhu. Yeah, he's very helpful, right? He's very practical. He's very cooperative. Whatever are your characteristics, use that for your counseling. Positive thinking, yeah? Yes, I am punctual. I am practical. I am flexible. Whatever it is, be realistic. Okay, don't exaggerate. That's why I put the mirror there. Okay? Everyone in this room, everyone can help somebody else. Everyone. We all have some characteristics that enable us to help somebody right at this very moment. Okay? Now, remember when we say, where do we start? This is a technical community development sort of model. Environmental scanning. These are technical words, so it sounds like, Environmental scanning means you look around. No, like now I'm looking around and I'm thinking, oh, this Prabhu looks very serious. Oh, that Mata, he looks very warmth. Or this Prabhu looks very, nice and amicable. Whatever. So in your community, you look around. Who is there? Can I approach this leader? Can I approach this group of people? Can I get the help of one person at least? Environmental scanning. We look around. Who is there? Secondly, you establish a relationship. Prabhu, would you like to start a program every week where we get together and chant and do some prasadam, and we invite some devotees so we can read and chant and become friends and open up? Would you like to do something like that? So I know that some people in that community will try to help. Yeah? Or can we make what's it called that? Anyway, when you drive people around, like Prabhu was saying, okay, to pick up people. Yeah, right? You do that, right? Penang. Yeah? Carpool. Yes, carpool. Yes, let's do a bit of then I pick you up and then we go to the Sunday feast or whatever it is. Everyone can do something. Everyone. Okay? So establish relationship and implement a strategy. What do you want to achieve? If you have any community in the world and that community doesn't have very good relationship amongst themselves, it doesn't have a devotee care department, it doesn't have a counseling training program, right? Let's start something. We may not reach it in 2 weeks, but maybe in 2 years we will improve. Okay, let's see what we can do. Let's stop complaining about what we cannot do, right? Well, we cannot do anything about it. What's the point? But whatever we can do. Okay. This is the idea. We are like isolated dots and we try to become a united community here by linking or strengthening these dots amongst each other. A simple way how to strengthen the relationships. We said it a few slides before. Dadati pratigrinati. By a gift. Serve prasadam to somebody. Go and talk to somebody. Ask. This morning I found a devotee I haven't seen for a few years. And all what I had to do, the great mistake I committed because I wanted to finish my rounds and see the deities and pray and da-da-da. I asked him, how are you? And there he kept me a good 40 minutes. A good 40 minutes. And a few hugs in between. How are you? But he says, oh, Prabhu, thank you. You helped me so much. I didn't do anything. I just asked him, how are you? And I listened to him. That's it. So the idea is that the more we do this, the more the impression that we will create in people's mind. What did you say, Prabhu? When you went to some other country and some people help you? These people are so nice. And they are truly helping me. Right? When you were sick and you were not even a devotee and they brought you some prasad, I'm sure you couldn't even eat the prasadam. But the fact that somebody brought you prasad, it made you think, these people are nice. Okay? Beyond nice. That's what we said in the beginning. Okay. Another quote from Prabhupada. Mike, we should pass it to the ladies. I want to get criticized. Give it this way. There, the lady. She's always willing.
Hare Krishna. Affection for God brothers is nice. It is a good sign. Affection for God brothers as well as for all other living entities, even if they are not God brothers, these signs are seen in the advanced devotees.
Okay. So, affection. That's the word, right? Affection. How do we translate affection? Okay, now let's get into the nitty-gritty. Communication skills. We need to become, thank you. We need to become expert. I mean, I say the word experts, but expert communicators. Meaning we understand how we talk to people and how we listen to people. Right? Ghana, can you get somebody to help distribute the... Okay? Not only is what we say or what we write. Have you got in trouble because you wrote a text message? Especially with this WhatsApp. WhatsApp, it's terrible. Yeah? Especially these WhatsApp groups. You wrote something and hey, you got 20 enemies on one side and you got 20 others backing you up and it becomes like a battlefield. WhatsApp battlefield. I hate groups. Yes, it happens. Before email was like, okay, one-on-one. That was difficult and text. But WhatsApp groups, we know. I am part of many WhatsApp groups in different countries and pretty much from Australia to Malaysia, South America, North America, the UK. Everyone from time to time gets into some kind of conflict because of something that you wrote and you send without thinking much. Okay? So let's be careful with that one. So facial expression, gestures, tone of voice, body language, etc. It's more than what we just say. Okay? So we have to be extremely careful. We're just going to touch on the point. So one is communication and skills. The other one is empathic listening. How can we do empathic listening? Okay? Empathic listening, first of all, we need to avoid the listening blocks. These are the listening blocks. There's a time in the day in the Hare Krishna movement where most of these blocks are manifested. You know what's that time? Part of the morning program? Huh? Bhagavatam class. Yes. Especially number 5, daydreaming. Have you seen that after half an hour or so, people start dozing away? Daydreaming, right? You can create movies of what people are thinking at that time. You close your eyes a little bit too long, and there you go. Mind reading. When you're talking to somebody and you start thinking, I know what he wants to say. You haven't even heard for half a minute, but you think that you already know what he or she wants to say. Mind reading. Rehearsing. Before the person finish his or her first sentence, you're already thinking what I'm going to say. Right? You're terrified to not know what to say. Okay? Filtering. No, I don't want to listen about this. Okay? I only talk about Krishna, Prabhupada, I don't want to hear about this. I don't care about your emotions, your feelings, your mind. I don't care. Right? Judging. This guy is always talking about the same thing. He's always complaining. It's always the same thing. Huh? Daydreaming, we know, bottom class. Advising, you're always the know-it-all. I always know what the solution for your life, for your life, for your life, like that. Okay? For my life, maybe not. Sparring. You know what sparring means? You know the boxers, when they box with somebody, they're practicing sparring. So somebody's talking and you're inside yourself. You're not listening. You're just thinking how to dodge this one and how I'm going to get him. Wait till he lets me talk. Being right. Righteous, you know. We have those around. Derailing. No, Prabhu. Ratha Yatra is coming. Right? We have to collect. We have to do a lot of flower garlands. We have to do this. We have to do that. We talk about 2 weeks after the program ends. Let's talk about something else. Not now. I don't have time for this guy. You know. Right? And placating. What does placating mean? Prabhu, everything is temporary. After all, we're a spirit soul. We're not the mind. We're not the body. It's all good. Just chant Hare Krishna. Everything will be fine. It's all good. You're not listening. You just want to basically... I remember my little daughter, whenever I was scolding her, she will put her hand in my mouth. Yeah? Stop. She will put her hand in my mouth. Don't talk. So sometimes we try to do that. You know, it's all good, Prabhu. It's all good. Krishna is controlling. Krishna is dancing with the gopis. It's all good, Prabhu. So placating. These are the listening blocks. This means, and the person feels, you don't want to listen to what I have to say. These are listening blocks. Okay. We don't have time to do this. But this is what it means. If you wouldn't be seeing this image, and I want to describe to you what's happening there, or what you are describing that to me, because I don't see it. It's very hard for me to draw it exactly, because I'm not seeing it. In the same way, when you are describing your problem to a counselor, I haven't been there. I may think I put myself in the person's shoes, but I haven't seen it. I haven't experienced it. So it's very hard. So generally when we do this course, when we have more time, we turn half of the room looking away from the screen, and the other person, the other half of the room, describes that to the ones who are not looking at the diagram. And it's a lot of a struggle. People get frustrated. People get angry. It's very interesting. And it all comes down to a simple skill. What's that skill? Listening. Attentively. I'm interested in your story. I'm really interested in your story. Even if the 2-3 lines don't come out too good. Oh, these devotees are always da. And you already start blocking, judging, right? But if you listen attentively, you understand why this person is so frustrated, maybe with the devotees. And then you have a chance. Because there's one thing, I learned this from a senior. He said, this is a long time, he told me, you have to listen. And I said, Maharaj, but you know, when you're listening, sometimes they are maybe talking offenses or prajalpa or this and that. No, he said, this is my technique, he told me. I listen to people and then I think, I'm going to have my time. When my chance comes, then I talk. But meantime, I listen. Right? Because the more people is talking, at some point, they're going to get tired. And then that's your chance. All right? Now, just while saying this, and maybe this is something that you have in your mind, if you have some questions, you can start formulating them now. We can discuss. Generally, I don't know if you had this experience, somebody comes to you and they come with an avalanche, with a flood of problems, and they don't stop. Okay? You had that instance? Yes? In your life? Yeah? Seems like everybody? Yeah? Everyone? Yeah? Everyone. Let me give you 2 questions that can stop that. You know, sometimes here in India, in Mayapur, the pipes break. Prabhu lives in Mayapur. You know what I'm talking about, yeah? All of a sudden, 2 a.m, brand new apartment, yeah? It happens. So what you have to do, you have to run and close the main. And that's it. Stop. So this is the main for this avalanche of emotions and complaints and that. These are the two questions that you need to ask. And that's when real counseling starts. What do you need? Okay? What do you need, Prabhu? In the course, we have a list of around, 200 words of needs. I need security. I need understanding. I need companionship. I need safety. I need transport. I need some food. I need some medicine. I need some friendship. I need some whatever you need. Choose that and let's talk about that. Okay? What do you need? That's one. Second, what do you feel? How do you feel? Tell me about that. No, because this, he said, no, I heard it. I heard you 35 minutes already. I want to know about you. I don't want to know about him or her or them. I want to know about you. Tell me, how do you feel? And we also have a list of feeling words. I feel hurt, betrayed, let down, disappointed, angry, frustrated. Okay, that's good. At least we identify the feeling. And then we can start working. Okay, I said that if you Google the word counseling, double L or L, in most cases, in most places, you find millions of hits in a few seconds. So this is the essence of those findings. Avoid your listening blocks, avoid your distractions, and go to the feeling and emotion. And then what do? Okay, with this we're going to close. I think we got 6, isn't it? 6, yeah. A few more minutes. Okay, in every counseling model, or Vaishnava life counseling model, we have a few things, like tools, like a plumber. He has tools. Questioning, remember I mentioned the 2 questions? Who remember the questions? What do you feel? How do you feel? And what do you need? Okay. We are passing around some very elegant brochures. So nice that you're taking notes, but in this brochure developed by the Ministry of Congregational Preaching, we want to encourage you to use some of these tools here. This is just a basic information. You can write to us. We're trying to set up webinars and training online for visiting devotees in their temples, or train them through the internet. Effective questioning is one, our tools. But this is the model. Okay? This will save you years and years of research and training and hours of torturing your brain to understand about counseling. This, after, I don't know, whatever it was, 12 years or so, 12 years or more of experience in human services working in Australia, this is my conclusion. Not my conclusion, this is experts' conclusion. First of all, you have to define the issue. What is the issue? The issue is with the counselee, not with them. Okay, let me give you a shastric example so you're not turned off by talking about material counseling or material psychology. Give an example from the Bhagavad Gita. End of chapter 1. What happened? Arjuna was doing what? Lamenting. Arjuna was lamenting. He was complaining. On and on and on. Pretty much half the first chapter is Arjuna's lamentation. He was giving arguments. This is not good. This is sinful. This, how can I do this? So many things, yeah? Even entering second chapter, he keeps on lamenting. Okay? Question to you. What did Krishna do at that time? What? Very good. Very good. The description says, the Acharya says that he was smirking. He was smiling slightly. Right? Because he knew what, like Maharaj told me, wait for your time to come. So Krishna was just waiting his time. He was listening. Did Krishna interrupted Arjuna? No. He listened. Okay? So empathic listening means, first of all, don't mind my French, shut up. Okay? Like they say in Bengal, chup karo, right? Be quiet and listen. Tell your mind, stop. Let me listen to this Prabhu or Mataji, whoever it is. Let me listen to this issue. Okay, so first is issue. What is the issue? The issue is with the person. The issue was with Arjuna, right? Or was with the Kurus? In the Gita. Arjuna, yes. The issue was with Arjuna. When we say about issue, imagine a coin. On one side is the issue. What do you think is on the other side? The solution. So when the issue is with you, where is the solution? With you. So our job, Prabhupada says this, I think it's 6:14 in the purport. 6:14 or 24. Bhagavad Gita. God help me here. God help those who help themselves. Yes? God help. He's telling the story of the sparrow and Garuda coming to help to swallow the ocean. Yeah? The job of a counselor in Krishna consciousness is this. Help people to help themselves. Because if they help themselves, who's going to help them? God help those who help themselves. So that's all what we're doing. Help people to identify what is their issue. Okay, if that is the issue, what do you want then? What is your goal? Right? Yeah, whatever the solution is, you describe that. You're here, point A, you want to reach point B. What does it take? What's the breach that I have to create? What's the change in my behavior that I have to perform in order to achieve my goal? That's all. That's all the counseling. You can read books and books and books. It's basically three things. Identify the issue, establish a goal, and change behavior. That's all. If we get that, then the solution is achieved. It's not going to be overnight. It's not going to be after 30 or 40 minutes. It may take a few sessions, as they call it, but eventually it will be achieved. That's exactly what Prabhupada did. He will identify in a generic way in his books what is the issue. What he used to say, the issue is, the problem is ignorance and the solution is knowledge. And then he wrote books, right? He had a goal. He disciplined himself. He talked to people. He conveyed the knowledge that he was bringing from the parampara. Okay, final thing. Anyone here is good at swimming? I know in India swimming is not too popular, but there are a few Westerners. I'm from South America. Any good swimmer? Swimmer? Yes? Normal, yeah. Australian, of course. Yeah. Come on. Anybody? Yes, good swimmer. Malaysia. Yes, swimmer. Good. This is the thing. If you don't know how to swim and someone is drowning, how many probably dead people are going to be there? Instead of one, it's going to be two, right? If you don't know how to swim and somebody's drowning and you jump in the water to save him or her, most probably you're going to die. Two, drown, yeah? So the idea of this, confidentiality, we'll come back to this. Is to take care of yourself. Self-care. Right? What did I say in the beginning? We have lost too many devotees in our movement. Majority of Prabhupada disciples left. A lot of our devotees also, they come and go. Right? And sometimes they go and they drown because we're not able to save them. So, self-care is a crucial part of counseling training, which means exactly that. It's self-explanatory. Take care of yourself. What does that mean? Different areas. Physical. Remember areas of care? The same things. Physical, psychological, emotional, interpersonal, spiritual. So, if you write to us, we're distributing some cards, no? All right? So, if you write to us, we can send you some documents or some forms or tools or resources, as we call them. And then you can You see, if you want to help others, if you want to counsel others, first you have to help yourself. Remember, God helped those who help themselves. So first we have to help ourselves. Then Nishingadev will come and help us, and then we can help others like that. So first you have to learn how to do this for yourself. Does that make sense? Bad English, but anyway. And then we have this. So you have to fill in. I like to start chanting my rounds at 3 o'clock in the morning and get them all finished by this time. Yeah, depends. Everyone's different, right? People support. I don't like people so much, so I rather keep it to myself and I just talk to a few friends. Whatever it is, we're all different. So you fill in all these areas: spiritual, mental, emotional. Yeah. So all these lifestyle. I see some of our swamis walking around, pedaling their bikes. Yeah. Yes, you've seen them. They are taking care of themselves. Yeah. Gopal Krishna Maharaj, I know when he comes, he goes and walk there in Tanampur Road somewhere. Yeah, with his nice shoes. Yeah, he's taking care of himself. He likes to do Mongol Arati also. Yeah, he knows what he likes. He's taking care of himself. Okay? Physical, like that. You have to take care of yourself. Now, to close this, again with a bit of a tragic note. How many leaders you have heard that left the movement? You know when you read Lilamrita? Yeah, when you read Lilamrita? Yeah? Many of you have read Lilamrita? You have lived Lilamrita, the Prabhupada disciples. You were there. Many of these heroes, I remember as a young bhakta, I was one of the few who spoke English or read English. And I was reading this Lilamrita, and I was thinking, wow. And then after the years, I heard this one left, and the other 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 one left. And a lot of the heroes of the Lilamrita left. Okay, I'm not saying left the body. I'm saying left, God knows where they went. Some of them are coming back also. Like that. And why do they leave? In many cases, because they didn't take care of this. Whether it was spiritual, or whether it was social or people, they couldn't get along with God brothers or this and that, the other. Or emotional, right? Sannyasis giving up their ashrams. We heard about those stories. Yeah? Lifestyle. They got sick or fried or burnt out. Right? Physical. They didn't take care of themselves. So if we want to help others, we need to help ourselves. So it's lots of material. As I said, we have 10 times more material than what we needed for the course. We give this course in 3 parts, 2.5 days each part. And as I said, we have visited different temples around the world. And but we will really love to share these materials with you. If you're interested, we can arrange a visit if you are on the route, wherever we are going. So the Congregational Development Ministry is providing this material. Why? Because there are 3 aspects in preaching, according to Prabhupada's example. The first one is outreach, right? Your book distributors, I think I recognize you from, are you from Chicago somewhere there? I've seen you around some. Denver. Okay. Book distributor with Dhanavir Maharaj or, yeah, okay. Book distributors, Harinam, outreach, Prasad distribution, festivals, right? Outreach, right? But then the people come. And then when they come, what do? We cultivate them. We train them, right? And then we recommend them to initiation and all that. Once they get initiated, I don't want to know much because I don't have time for you. Mind your own business, okay? I'm busy with my own thing, yeah? So we are lacking in care. So Congregational Ministry is emphasizing this aspect. Not only be nice, learn how to listen to people, learn how to help people to achieve their spiritual goals. Sometimes may not be so spiritual, right? Sometimes brahmacharis want to get married. Where do they go? I know that sometimes they just disappear because they are too embarrassed to talk to somebody because they don't have anybody to reveal their mind to. Sannyasis, who do they go to? I don't want to. You know? But, you know, Matajis, Grihastas, parents, we need to have what's called circle of support. So by doing this, we hope to change the ratio of devotees joining and staying, right? Prabhupada said, what was that? Easy coming, easy going, right? Yes, that one. That's the one. Don't be surprised of the ones who leave. Be surprised of the ones who stay, right? Because Maya is so strong. Now, how old are we now? I'm not asking, especially the ladies, the age, but how old are we? How old is ISKCON? 50 plus. 50 plus, right? Right? So, if somebody's 50 plus, is meant to be a little bit wise. So, it's about that we get wise in this area. Remember, contact is good, cultivation is good, but most important is care. And counseling is very practical and essential aspect of devotee care. And we close with this. Who wants to read this one? The microphone somewhere? Maybe give the opportunity to somebody else. Who has a microphone? There. There we go.
Real love is because I'm spirit soul, therefore I love myself. And why do I love myself? Because it is part and parcel of Vishnu.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaurapurnima. We have a few minutes for questions and then we can close because we are told that we have to finish on time. So we try to be compliant. Please fill in your contact forms. We want to create a little database. We don't want to sell you everything or force you to do anything you don't want to. We just want to share that. All right, okay. All right, that's all right. Thank you. Prabhuji, you have a question? Last slide. Yes, please.
My question is, when it comes to implementing counseling more and more in a community, how required would you say it is that it needs to be like an official, like there's the counselor and the the mentor and the mentee,
yep,
versus kind of just like spontaneous?
Yeah. I mentioned the word professional because there is a proper way to do it, right? So the idea is that the more this sort of training is introduced in the movement, then the more we can do things right, just to put it simply. Now, like they say in first aid, if anybody here has taken first aid training, if there's an accident, everyone can help. But it's better to take the basic training so you don't make more harm than good, right? Somebody hits themselves with a, motorbike accident. You come and move him, you break his back or neck or something like that. So you need to know the basics. So when we present this, we are encouraging devotees to apply the basics, right? And there is a section where we talk about what we call a specialized counseling. If you come across domestic violence, suicide, self-harm, mental illness, domestic violence, sexual abuse, child abuse, addictions, apart from drug and alcohol, contact a specialist. That's our recommendation. If you don't know where to go, contact us, and then we will direct you to the proper channels. Don't try to do it on your own. Okay? So, but this basic stage is to be open for devotees to receive your help in some way. Even if you feel completely unequipped or capable to help others, you can say, okay, we can put you in contact with some devotees who have some experience and they may be able to guide you, right? But the idea is this is a start. We are pioneering this to develop something which is much more substantial, and hopefully in a few years we can have qualified counselors within the movement. We have to be careful a little bit with the term. Why? Because if it's in America, somebody can sue you, right? Oh, you were giving me counseling. And so somebody recommended us, one psychologist devotee in America said, be careful with using the word counseling, right? So mentoring or like that, So we provide a certificate in the course, but it says just the basic level of support, something like that. So yes, if somebody has that tendency or inclination to take counseling more seriously, There are several courses, and we're happy to help those who... We run the course here in Mayapur once at least a year, sometimes twice a year. But we're happy to provide information and materials to you if you just write to us. Okay? Any other question? Yes, Ru.
Hi, Krishna Prabhuji. Because the different devotees are different types, and their behavior and their nature are also different. Sometimes it's very difficult to give solution according to nature of the devotees,
Yes.
giving counseling.
Good.
So how can do that?
How do we? Okay, perfect question, perfect answer. Okay, Prabhu said people are different natures. Do we agree? Yeah. Prabhu's question was how to give solution. All right. If I would have a red button here, I would press it right now. Why? Because we don't give solutions. The solution was with the person. The issue with the person, we have to help the person to find their solution. What happened at the end of the Bhagavad Gita? What Krishna says to Arjuna, did you hear attentively? Or you want me to repeat the whole thing? Right? And then what Arjuna says? Now I'm ready to fight. Karishe bachanam tava. The problem was with Arjuna. Yeah, Krishna was suggesting some things. Krishna was recommending some things. But jatecha sitatat kru. You can do whatever you want. If you want, you fight. Right? So, the point is, it's called intrinsic motivation. How to encourage people to do it because they want to do it, not because you are telling them. So you don't tell the solution. You just help them to find their own solution. Whatever nature they may be. Right? Everyone is looking for a solution according to their own issue. Okay? And one thing, for sure you wouldn't know the solution in the beginning. And even if you know it, that's your solution, not his or her solution. Okay, so we have to be mindful of that. Okay, last question, if any. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.